Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Glad to hear that. If you don't mind, start by just sharing who you are, your name,
Okay.
and then where you grew up.
Okay. My name is Kideste Yusef. I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia. My family's Ethiopian, but we grew up in a suburban kind of area in Virginia Beach, but very traditionally African household.
Okay.
So yeah,
In spite of.
Yeah, in spite of. Very awkward walking that line. Yeah.
And tell me, what were you like as a child?
A nerd. Like I really loved books. I was like in safety patrol. I was class president all 4 years in high school. So like kind of like a natural leader, but like nerdy, but got along with like all kinds of different groups of people. I was the kid that asked too many questions, like and not knowing what it was appropriate to ask or not. So
I remember those kinds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm the youngest of 5, so I think that I learned to like exert myself just because when you have a loud Black family, like you got to kind of speak up if you want people to hear you.
Surprisingly, you mentioned that you were a nerd, but yeah, you got along with everyone. And if you think about what's depicted in a lot of shows, that's usually not the case. Nerds are usually like the annoying ones. No one wants to be around. How did you overcome that?
I like people, and I think that like the high school I went to was very diverse in the sense of like there was a strong Filipino population, a lot of African Americans, a lot of whites, and so I was in drama, so I was with all the whites in drama. I was like part of like the Spanish club in the Filipino society because my best friend was Filipino, mestiza. I was like really pro-black, so I was like in the debate, and so I think it allowed me to like just kind of understand and appreciate different people's cultural expressions, but also like because I was so grounded in my household and like Blackness and excellence and pride that it just kind of allowed me to be comfortable in different spaces in a way that I don't think a lot of people sometimes are able to do that.
Well, I'm going to ask you to definitely describe yourself in 5 words, but one of the words I would describe you as is definitely culturally diverse.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love words, so this is a hard question for me. I would say spiritual, definitely. Cerebral. I'm in my head all the time. Like I think about things, and I have an affinity for all things intellectual. Loving, diligent. Like I pay a lot of attention to detail, and nuanced. I think because
really?
I like you said, I really like books and literature and like documentaries, but I also like fashion and creative things and like coloring and gardening and music. So
many facets.
Yeah,
I love it.
Say, yeah.
So I want you to do me a favor, Dr. Kideste. If you can go back to your former self, your 15-year-old self, what would you give advice to that young lady, that teenager?
Oh my. Wow. I think let it go and just like enjoy. I think sometimes I would like get lost in books and like choose that over reality sometimes. And so I think that I didn't have as many like stories and experiences that were like exciting. Like I was pretty much, my brother was joking in our family chat, like you're the by the book kind of person. Like I tend to be straight and narrow, like, and so and older now looking back, like, I probably should have snuck out once, or I probably should have done something because I have stories to share with my daughter, So, yeah, I would say like live a little bit more and let it go.
You might remind me of my son, my oldest, who the teacher's like, okay, we need to get him reading fictional books because he's very Black and white. There's no gray at all with people or things. So we need to get him.
Yeah, that's an important part of your mental development, I think.
It really is. In order to succeed in this life, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about your talents. We all have very, very useful talents. However, I would love to know what talent you have that's not really so useful.
Oh my, that's a good question. I think my children would probably tell you that more than I. What do I have that's a talent that's not very useful? I don't know actually. Like, I mean, I have an odd memory. Like, I have a good memory, but only with respect to certain things. So I guess like sometimes I don't remember stuff I shouldn't know, and then I remember the details of like random things that are not. So maybe that, like a selective photographic memory. Maybe.
Okay, all right. I'm detail oriented where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. We all have them. All right, so I want you to think about where you are in life right now, and if you could pick a theme song for where you are at this moment in your life, what would that theme song be and why?
I would say still, like, this is probably before Jill Scott, Living My Life Like It's Golden. Like, I think I'm at a place where it's like, I mean, I just want to be pleasing to my creator and do what's good for like my family and myself. And so it's like, I think when you move in a certain way, things happen and come to you. And so I just want to appreciate that and kind of walk in that.
Good. Love it. Love it. Love it. Talk to me about whether or not you have any prior modeling experience, whether it was on a professional basis or just on a volunteer basis.
No professional, all volunteers. So like, I tend to like, people tend to ask me to like sell, like, can you, wear this head wrap, or like, can you sell this, or like new photographers starting out, like they just, want to take pictures. And so I have a lot of pictures, but I'm not, I don't have any professional modeling experience.
What do you think that says about you? There's obviously something about you that their eye captures or they're drawn to.
I'm not sure. I think I have a way of like putting stuff together maybe. And like, I'm told like a certain look. So I don't know if like, like, so when a photographer told me like I have a really long neck. And so I don't know if that's, like I don't know. I think it's things like that. I'm not really sure. I guess that'd be a better question for you. For James, yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So outside of modeling for rePresent, what do you do professionally?
I'm a professor at a college. I'm a professor of criminal justice. I'm also the department chair for our Justice and Political Studies department at Bethune-Cookman.
Okay, awesome. How did you even become a part of rePresent African American Photography Exhibition? Walk us through that.
Yeah, so my daughter was turning 16, and I wanted to do something special for her. And I had heard about the exhibit. I had seen some of you all's work, and I was like, ooh, and I'm frugal. So I was like, I don't know if like that's something I could afford, but I want to like try it out. And then I think from the initial conversation with you on the phone, I just felt really comfortable. You seemed very like open. It was just like an energy exchange that I was like, okay, yeah, I don't get what price she says, like we're going to go. And it was affordable. And then just the whole experience with her, like she can be shy. And like, I think that you and James like really kind of calmed her down and like brought out something in her that really came off in her pictures. Mm-hmm. And so I think it was just a beautiful experience, like the whole experience of her shooting. And so then when you called me, I was like, are you sure? Like, you want me to do this? Like, I saw the exhibit last year, was really blown away. So I was like really humbled and nervous. It was like, oh goodness, like what kind of look do you want, So that's how I came.
It's so funny thinking about your daughter. We watched her blossom on camera. And just love that process. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, y'all are the reason why she finally agreed to get contacts.
Is she wearing them
She
now?
is wearing them. She still wears her glasses sometimes, but she mostly wears. And she has her braces off now, so she thinks she's super cute. And she is.
She really is. Love to hear that. All right. What was it like working with the KGI team, capturing your images for the event?
I think it was like, wow. Like from coming in and seeing my name on the door and just feeling like, wow, like this is like, I just felt like it was just a beautiful experience. It felt like almost like a pampering experience, but also like, I loved your like assisting in every aspect. Like I told you, I want to hire you and just bring me with me,
I hear that a lot.
It was like, oh, there's a piece of lint here. Yes. Oh, like twist your wrap this way. So it was, I think the whole experience was like the best photography experience I've ever had. And I've been in front of a lot of people's cameras. So it was very relaxing. I didn't feel like, oh, is that gonna look, sometimes I think that people think, oh, you're photogenic, but like inside you could be feeling like awkward or you're not sure if that's a good look. So
true.
Yeah, I felt like very comfortable with you all saying, no, that's nice. And even like showing me some of the images. And I was like, oh, like that's,
I thought that was a common thing, but I guess photographers really don't show.
Yeah, and probably not on a screen that size too. So it's like seeing it, you kind of know, oh, do this differently, or I really don't like, I should soften my face, or I should, like that was really helpful.
You play a role in all of that as well. So that's good that you actually acknowledge that, and that's awesome. So I want you to do me a favor and describe your collection of images that will be featured at this exhibition. And what was your greatest inspiration to just prep and get ready for it?
I would say that my collection, and I think I'm stealing these words from James, like it reminds, like Mama Africa, like it definitely, my inspiration in most things, fashion and beauty, is my mother, like who's since passed, but she, to me, was like my standard of beauty, the definition, like extremely well put together, beautiful features, like just, like I remember, like as a child, just watching her do everything. Watch her face; it was like gold to me. And so I think that anytime I think about Black beauty, like I think about her. And so, you know, our traditional styles in Ethiopia are a little more subdued. So like I wanted to wear something specific to our culture. I'm an Axumite, like from Axum, Ethiopia, which is like one of the oldest kingdoms in Ethiopia. So I wanted to wear an outfit that was like traditional to Axum, but I also wanted to. My father's African American. I also wanted to reflect West African culture because, for one, the fabrics are just better. Like it's colorful, it is like lively, and it's like my personality.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to also wear like something from West Africa. And I'm also a Muslima, and so I thought it was important to wear like a traditional hijab in a picture too, because you don't often see like Black women who are African American that are not trying to be from any other culture, just proud to be Black and Muslim.
Period.
So, yeah, period. Exactly, period. So I wanted to reflect that as well. And I love that you gave me the options to do all three. Like I didn't feel like I had to compartmentalize myself in any way.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Now tell me this, as being a woman of color, please describe the impact describe the impact of the event such as rePresent. What do you think this is going to do for the community?
For one, it's in Daytona. So I think that being fairly new to the area, 5 years in, like I grew up in an environment that had a lot of expressions of Black culture. And so like when I first heard about the exhibit last year, I was just like, wow, like this is the type of thing I wait to take my kids to, like, because I need them to be reaffirmed in these spaces. And so I think that as a Black woman, like I'm just so excited. Like I'm so humbled. I can't believe it still. Like I'm like, oh my God, I'm at the exhibit. Like just because it screams Black excellence on all levels. And I think it speaks to all aspects of Blackness. Like you don't have to fit a certain mold or be a certain type. And it's just, particularly like in this era of racial reckoning, like we have to understand the humanity of each of us, and like we all have beauty to share. So I think that you all do an excellent job showcasing that. Yeah,
I'm glad that
powerful.
You're able to even put that into a form of words. The way we do it is through photography, but this just being able to show that no, we're beautiful too. Let me show you. Because it's being missed. Sadly, you know, when we started this, and I'll definitely get to our next question, but when we started this, we Googled African American man, African American woman, and the things that come up, it's just like, that's all we are? Is that all that we, and what we saw was mugshots on one end, and then on the other end was half naked women. And to a lot of other outside cultures, that's all we are.
That's the global reflection. When you travel abroad, if that's all we show them, that's what people think African Americans look like.
Absolutely.
So they approach you with those images in mind when you're abroad. Like it's, you know, and it's okay because that's part of our culture, but it's not okay for that to be the only thing reflected. Like everyone else gets, you know, if you see whiteness, they have their good, their bad, you know, like it's a diversity because that's what every group is. Period.
There we go again. We're definitely on the same page here. Tell me this, what advice do you have for kids of color who are desperate for positive presentation for tomorrow's generation?
Oh, I think that's a great question. It's also loaded because we are in the age of like Instagram and Photoshop, and nothing is authentic. So I mean, every girl loves a little smooth skin, and you know, in a picture that I'm not. But like, if little girls and boys are only seeing like snapshots of everybody's perfected life, and then they compare their real life to someone's 20 seconds, you know. I think that it's important for them to see authentic reflections of themselves in all our flaws and our perfections, because that's where our beauty, like none of us walk around perfect. We all have, like you said, the idiosyncrasies, whether it be the needless talents or just like the things that make us human. I think it's important for our youth to see, I mean, for me as a mother, as a teacher of students forever, I think it's important for us to affirm ourselves in each other and in our flaws.
think about it, we are inviting all races, all nationalities, all ages to represent. My question to you is, what's that one thing that you think all races of people can take away from this coming year's represent?
Oh, I think that, like we've kind of mentioned this before, that there's beauty in all of us and that there's a common humanity. And sometimes it's just setting aside, whether it's conscious or unconscious biases, but like looking, because I think when you look at these images, you see mothers and sisters and brothers and fathers and doctors and handymen, you know, like you see an array of individuals who are going through this experience, and that we're connected in our Blackness and our ancestry, but these are diverse people with different stories, just like you're diverse in your story.
Absolutely.
So I think that it's just appreciating the common bond of us as humans.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I just have one thing to tell you, and I want you to make sure you jot this down. Represent will be 6 days this year, this coming year. And so we went from having it over a weekend to almost a full week now.
Yeah, can we just pause in that excellence for a second? Like, oh my goodness, that is so great.
It really, really is. And so those dates are February 1st through the 6th. So that's a Tuesday through a Sunday. So we want to make sure you're definitely there.
Yeah,
so make sure you jot that
I
down.
I will.
But in addition to that, my question to you is, how does it feel to be the face of Represent 2022?
I'm just beside myself. Like I don't like oh my gosh.
I know the screen's not the best, but congratulations. Tell me, how does that feel to be the face of Represent?
Oh my goodness.
2022?
Like, what in the world? This is so crazy. Like, me? Like, oh my gosh.
And
Y'all
all
gonna
of
make
your
me
beauty
cry. Like,
and all your splendor.
Oh
How
my
does that
God.
feel?
Wow. Like, what in the world? Like,
Share your emotions right now.
I don't know what to say. Like, I feel like my mother would be like, I just feel like proud. Like, I'm excited. Oh my God, you're gonna have me crying on camera. I can't wait for my daughter, my son to see. Like, oh my God, I'm honored. Like, I'm so thankful that you chose me. I think this is beautiful. Like, I haven't seen this picture, of course. So, like, wow. Like, what in the world? Like, how do you jot this down on your resume? Like, how can I add this to my resume? Like, what do I say actually?
Love it.
My God. Thank you so much. Like, wow.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously, I think it's just a combination of all that you are, all you've experienced, where you are right now in your life to get you to this point, right?
Yeah, indeed.
So it's just a compliment to all of who you are, seriously.
Thank you. Like, yeah, thank you both. Oh my goodness, like I'm shaking. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that that's gonna be like